Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, more on my ashlar journey. That's my experiment going. Char cloth being left out for a week to the air. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. I haven't seen any on YouTube ever done that. And ashlar cotton balls left out for a week, going to be pulled on the 21st. I've never seen a video on char cloth being left out exposed to the air and seen what happens. White punk turned into yellow punk. I tested it last night. There's the remnants of it. Takes a spark, no dramas. I was a bit worried when I pulled it. I thought it had turned. It might have had the oven up a little bit hard. It was about 125, I thought it was. But the oven says its temperature gauge, the first increment is 150. So I just go in between it. I might have been a little bit thing. Started to go a bit black on there. I don't know if that was on there from to begin with. Very hard, as you can hear. Now there was one piece that I had already done. That was the piece I'd already done, but it's as hard as the other pieces. So it's really good colour. So this is my yellow punk now. It's taken on the same colour. That was the piece I tested last night. I cut a piece out. When I cut the piece out, it was spongy. But to feel it on the outside, it's very, very hard. That's what I'm looking for. So, already tested that piece. I can test another piece of this. Just proof of concept. Now it is a bit spongy, so all good. You can see the spore tubes there, and you can see the meat of the mushroom there. Now this is the one I've been testing continuously. Spore tubes, meat. And snapping my blade. This one has gone very stiff, crumbly. That's not real good. Anyway. What I did last night was roughed it up. It's probably not the best bit to dry sparks in there. Might have to turn it around. We'll see how we go. That's very thick. Very thick. Didn't rough that bit up. It's not conductive to driving sparks in that part. Terrible demonstrations. I'm sorry about this. It's always the way. As soon as I start demoing, I am going to have to cut a far better piece off than that. Demo. Sorry about this. As soon as you get your piece going, so it's certainly viable. Just have to cut the piece out that you need in a proper manner. That piece probably could be used if I'd cut it properly. I'm just wondering, yeah, that piece there, drive sparks into it. There. And away it goes. These bits, probably not so much, because they're crumbly and not real good. But the bits you can't use, you put in your tinder bundles. Like if you bugger it up like I just did, put that in your tinder bundle and it'll get it hotter. And this will just, it'll just increase the temperature of your tinder bundle it'll get hotter, and away it goes. And this is just because I'm not used to using mushrooms as much as other people. But I've turned all that into usable fungus because it would not take a spark before. I tried drying it out. But as soon as I put ash lye in it, it has made it viable for Flint and Steel. It takes a spark now within 10 strikes easily, and it smoulders really well, burns really easily. You just have to prepare it a little bit, just fluff it up a bit, and it takes a spark, no dramas. It's changed the colour. I really like the colour of it, which is just aesthetics, but for me, I really like it, and it smells okay. It's my version of Amadou. It just doesn't feel like leather that Amadou does, but yeah, other than that, it is a fantastic way of improving the white punk fungus. If you are having trouble with white punk, which I did have, this stuff, none of that would take a spark, and it was just terrible. I've tried several pieces now, and that one there would not take a spark at all. I had tried a couple of them, and they just wouldn't take it at all. I don't know why I couldn't get it to take a spark, but I tried drying it. I've videoed it all. Just would not take a spark at all. I could have charred it, but yeah, that was the only option left open to me then, was charring it. So, but ash lye is, the 12 pH is so effective. I'm fascinated by its ability to improve things like its ability to take non-viable tinders and improve their ability to take a spark. It just fascinates me, and yeah, just you just have to be a bit patient with it. That's the only thing. It just takes several days to soak, several hours to dry it out if you're doing it in the oven, and a bit of experimentation with making it at first. Like, there is a bit of a learning curve as far as the journey of it goes, because when I first started making it, I was making weak solutions, and they weren't real good, and that was where I was getting the frustration from. But as soon as you get into the 12 pH, and I test all my stuff after I soak, and they still show 12 pH. So, and I haven't found any degradation, like any reduction in pH after I soaking things. So they're not reducing in pH at all. So yeah, it's retaining its pH even though I'm soaking things and whatnot. So yeah, it's doing really well. But as I said in my last video about this, I'm going to do a couple more fires on the weekend, and that'll be the last lot of fires I'll probably do anyway, because it's the end of September, and it's just getting too hot for them anyway. So it's not too bad at the moment, but September, October, September, it'd probably be the last set of fires I have anyway. So yeah, and then I'm not going to be doing them more until, I don't know, maybe April next year. And then that's when I'll start doing more experimentation as far as ash lye goes. So yeah, but this will be interesting. I don't know how how charclot's going to hold up against it. It hasn't rained since I put these out, but this has just been sitting in the house, and yeah, we just go from there. I don't think that this is going to worry it. I don't think I don't think the cotton balls are going to be any different, and I don't think the mushrooms really care either, but they are sponges. That was one thing with the things. I had a hell of a trouble trying to squeeze out the ash lye, and they did stay in the oven all day. Like, it was a good 12 hours of drying out. So that big piece especially, I barely squeezed it at all, because it was really difficult. It had sunk right to the bottom of my full jar, so I had a glove on, but I could barely get my hand down to pick it out, and then squeezing it, I only had one glove on, one hand, so I was only doing it one-handed, and squeezing it, I only squeezed it a bit, so it still had a fair bit of the ash lye in the solution, a fair bit of the solution still in its body, in the sponge itself, when I put it in the oven. So that's why I think that it's so reactive, is the fact that it retained a lot of the solution still in it. And obviously, when you're drying it out, you're only evaporating the water out of it. So all the actual lye stays in the mushrooms, or whatever you're evaporating out. So that's, as far as I know, that's how evaporation works. Only the water evaporates out, as far as I know. From days at school, I think that's correct. So yeah, but I do try to squeeze as much as I can out of it, except for the cotton balls. I give it a reasonable squeeze, and they do reduce down to a fair bit, but I don't squeeze them really hard, because otherwise they just disintegrate in your hand. So yeah, that's how I do it. So yeah, if anyone's trying to replicate this, but I don't really see many people doing this other than me and Jason. So yeah, as far as fire goes, but it's all good. I'm having fun, so that's all that matters. That's all I do this for anyway. So it's my hobby. So yeah, passes the time. Anyway, that's just reporting on yellow punk fungus. Yeah, good stuff. I really enjoyed that. It's actually white punk fungus, but yeah, not too bad at all. Changed it, and you can touch it. Doesn't seem to affect my fingers. It's not try to turn my hands into soap or anything like that, which apparently that's what it does if you touch the lye without gloves on. Anyway, it looks like my birds have turned up. They want some feed. So yeah, thanks for watching.